APA Basics. Part 3. Information on Formal Reports. Your formal report. This PowerPoint simply reminds you of information needed for your formal report. Remember, you can post parts of your formal report on the discussion board so your peers can give you feedback. Small but important points. This PowerPoint will discuss signal phrases. It will also discuss rules for titles. Always introduce a quote. The first two examples are incorrect. Wrong. Charles Dickens was a great writer and known for starting his works profoundly. Period. Quote, it was the worst of times, it was the best of times. End quote. Parentheses, Dickens, 1864, end parentheses, period. Wrong. Charles Dickens was a great writer and known for starting his works profoundly, comma. Quote, it was the worst of times, comma, it was the best of times, end quotation, parentheses, Dickens, 1864, end parentheses, period. The following one is correct. Right. Charles Dickens was a great writer and known for starting his works profoundly, period. He writes, quote, it was the worst of times, it was the best of times, end quote, parentheses, Dickens, 1864, end parentheses, period. The clause, quote, he writes, end quote, is called a signal phrase. Here are more examples of signal phrases. According to my source, comma, quote. An example of this is found in an internet source, comma, quote. The table that follows reveals, quote, comma, quote. Other signal phrases can be found by simply Googling signal phrase examples or looking them up on Purdue OWL and are also in your textbook. Here are some titles that have special rules. Italicized titles of longer works. Some examples are books, edited collections, names of newspapers, and so on. Do not italicize, underline, or put quotes around the titles of shorter works such as chapters in books or essays in edited collections. In APA, only the first letter of the first word in a title is capitalized. If you have a personal interview, the interview is credited in the body of the essay, but not on the reference page. You may access OWL at Purdue, reference list, basic rules. Here are a few things to watch out for in your research paper. Make sure you don't have a cut and paste job. Don't use long quotes or citation after citation. It's usually better if you analyze something and say it in your own words and then cite the source. Use direct quotes sparingly. No quote should be longer than 4 lines long. Make sure you give credit where credit is due. If you have stats, figures, dated info, that's a dead giveaway that you need to cite it. I am interested in your ability to read and assimilate information, giving me your own ideas based on what you learned, not you simply repeating what you read. Plagiarism. Don't do it. Words or ideas presented in a magazine, book, newspaper, song, TV program, movie, webpage, computer program, letter, advertisement, or any other medium. information you gain through interviewing or conversing with another person, face to face, over the phone, or in writing. When you copy the exact words or a unique phrase. When you reprint any diagrams, illustrations, charts, pictures, or other visual materials. When you reuse or repost any electronically available media, including images, audio, video, or other media. Bottom line, document any words, ideas, or other productions that originate somewhere outside of you. Reminders. You need to interpret your quotes. Show how the quote fits into what you are saying. Your conclusion should be your knockout punch. That is, it should give your main and strongest argument why we should agree with you and not the other side. Do not use Wikipedia, blogs, or tweets. Look at the URL address if it contains the word blog. You cannot use it. You must have the required minimum of complete pages of text. Charts, tables, or any other visuals does not count as text. Your title page and reference page don't count as part of the page's text either. If you have an in-text for a source, you need to have the source in the reference page and vice versa. Never use a web address in an in-text citation. Yes, you can use an automatic in-text and reference page generator. Just make sure you use the 7th edition and you double check it. If you have more than one source by the same authors, the reference page entries are handled a bit differently. Check the APA style guide or the APA section of your book. If you have more than one publication, check your book to see which date you should use. Copyright date or circle C, last updated, comma, and publication date all mean the same for internet sources. APA format reminders. You should have a title page in APA style. Your textbook and the OWL at Purdue site have examples. You should have a running head on all pages except the title page. You should have an abstract and table of contents if your assignment calls for it. You should have subheadings to make it easier for readers to find information. Visuals are acceptable, but they do not count towards your minimum page count. Please don't just bullet items. This is a formal report, so it should have an introductory paragraph, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Last but not least, proofread your formal report before you turn it in, or have someone in the Writing Center look over your report before you turn it in. Be advised that they need time to do this, so they can't have it ready in less than 24 hours. Run your formal report through Grammarly. Good luck! As long as you don't wait until the last minute to complete your formal report, you'll probably do well. I'm sure of it. Try breaking up your formal report into parts to make it more manageable. For example, you may want to do the research first, then write the report, then insert source credits. Finally, double check your formatting. You've got this.